saying that there are different forms of green energy which are available. Photovoltaic cells, solar energy, you all know, non-conventional energy, electricity being generated, and the latest being biophotovoltaic cells. I also welcome the students not belonging to the physics coming from the biotechnology BBC girls, along with their mentor Mrs. Sailaja amongst us. So let's have something which can be shareable between both of us. So all of you have seen the photovoltaic cells, solar cells. In our college also you must have seen many solar panels. Have you all seen? Yes. They are all mounted at the ground floor, and the lighting of the corridors is through those solar panels. And it is a renewable energy source, not a depletion energy source. Sun's energy. We are very fortunate to be in India and Hyderabad, having abundant sunlight enriching us every day. So we are making use of the freely available energy and save it, use it for future use. And this green energy that we are talking about is supposed to be a clean energy with minimal carbon emissions. And world over, people are all worried about the climate changes, protecting the climate, maintaining the climate imbalances. You all must be seeing, isn't it? World over conferences, seminars are going on. So when they're all talking about it at depth, in our college, every year it is customary for us to celebrate the 14th of December as National Energy Conservation Day. So let's all unite our hands, listen to the professors, expertise in the field of solar energy amongst us. Dr. Ishwar Murthy is going to throw light on various kinds of measures that are taken care of, and more so on biophotovoltaic cells. This the word bio is coming not because BBC girls are here, but there is a research going on in depth. It's still at the native stage. It is still in the beginning, and they're talking about the greenery that is around present here. They're going to take algae. Some of you must be knowing algae and bacteria. So from that, what they are doing, I'll just tell you, since I belong to physics and electronics, I'll add some physics component to it. What they do is, they gather the mass of this algae and other types of bacteria, and they attach two electrodes. The two electrodes are anode and cathode. Okay? And electricity is produced and it is attributed to the flow of electrons, right? And electrons flow from point at a high potential to the point at low potential. So there should be a potential difference that has to be created. So they collect lots and lots of mass that is available, accumulate this, connect cathode and anode, and all the plants say they generate their own energy, not like us depending on somebody. So what is that energy storing mechanism? Photosynthesis. So in the process of photosynthesis, electrons are released, and when you attach these electrodes to the plants, these electrons get attracted to the anode, a potential difference is created, the flow of electrons constitutes what is known as electricity. So it is this electricity that has to be saved, stored and reused. That is where the solar panels are coming into picture. So this is a limited knowledge we have. Let's hear and proceed with this much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Ratna of second year physics to come and introduce the speaker for the day.
Good morning, one and all. I am Ratna from B.Sc Physical Science second year. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today. Mr. Ishwara Murthy Ramaswamy sir is a scientist working in the field of solar photovoltaics at the Center of Solar Energy Materials, International Advanced Research Center for Powder Metallurgy and New Materials ARCI Hyderabad. Dr. Ishwar received master degree in physics from Bharatiya University, Tamil Nadu and PhD in Energy Engineering 2008 from University of Science and Technology, Korea. He worked as a research associate at IIT Madras, visiting students at Weizmann Institute of Science, Israel. Scientist at Korea Electrotechnology Research Institute, postdoctoral fellow at Postech Korea, and visiting physicist at SLAC National Laboratory, Stanford University, USA. His research group focuses on lab to fab transformation of emerging solar photovoltaics technologies and assessing their technical capabilities in a real-time operating condition and practical applications. He has been published extensively as author and co-author of over 60 scientific articles in peer-received high-impact journals. He secured 3 Indian patents and filed 4 patents applications for his innovations. He was also part of team that developed 2 technologies, that is easy to clean and anti-reflective coating, and successfully transferred 4 Indian companies. He also frequently speaks at technical conferences about basics to advanced concept of solar photovoltaics and challenges associated with widespread deployed in harsh Indian environment. Dr. Ishwar actively participates in outreach activities to popularize the solar energy among schools and college students. Dr. Ishwar is an elected member of Global Young Academy and Royal Society of Chemistry in London. Recognizing his contribution, Indo-US Science and Technology Forum awarded Bhaskara Advanced Solar Energy Fellowship 2019 to study the in situ stability of perovskite solar cell and Stanford University, USA. I invite Dr. Ishwar sir to come forward and address the gathering.
Very good morning to all. Good morning, sir. So thank you very much for head of the department and other faculty members from physics and then some other bio-related departments and students for providing the opportunity to visit this college, wonderful college, second time, and then give kind of like what we are doing very close, like in ARC Hyderabad. It's like just 25 kilometers away from this college. But this chance, like you will get idea of what exactly happening in this emerging solar photovoltaic field. So I don't want to spend more time on this introduction and all. Just like as your madam mentioned, most of you are like from physics or science related. So just quickly I jump into the field and then show what we are doing and what are the like things need to be done and where you can contribute in a different way. Like you can do some research or you can design some policy. You can do or you can contribute by like highlighting this day energy conservation rights. So how it is important, all other things are like, going to be covered in another 30 to 35 minutes in my presentation. And if you have any question, feel free to stop me, or after my presentation also you can ask, not only related to my presentation, about your career or some of the opportunities available at ARC Hyderabad. So ARCI is like a very long name, International Advanced Research Center for Powder Metallurgy and New Material. Department of Science and Technologies are like a fully funded autonomous research lab and established in the year 1995. But we have like 3 centers. The major center is located in Hyderabad, but we have like one in IIT Madras Research Park where we are focusing on the battery and fuel cell technologies, and in Delhi for like patents and other administrative issues. But Hyderabad like mainly focusing on the advanced material for the energy applications. Yeah, this is the wonderful campus. So like you can see it's about like 95 acres and full green cover, and if any one of you traveling to the airport from LB Nagar direction, you certainly pass through our campus and don't miss to look at that. So we have about 10 center of excellence in ARC Hyderabad, as you can see from here, but all are like materials for a specific application, from like solar, batteries, laser, carbon material, nano material, and so on. Next slide. So we have like a kind of wide range of activity spectrum covering from the applied research. So some of you guys are doing the academic research, right? It is a kind of explorative research. So once the research is proved or shows like a true potential, then it became an applied research. So we start to kind of build the things based on the basic research developed by the academic people, and then make it to the applied research, and then we develop the prototypes from the lab to fab transformation. And once the prototype is developed, validated and field tested, it will be like eventually given to the industry for the mass production and then commercialization. So what we have in our facility is very important, right? In ARC we have so many facilities. I am just focusing on the Center for Solar Energy Materials. So we have the wonderful facilities ranging from the material synthesis. Can you hide that one? Yeah. So we have a material synthesis, not only in the very like a minute scale, it can go up to few kilogram scale, and then yeah. It's okay. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, that's okay. So yeah, so we have a material synthesis. Which I think can I have it? I have to go front and back. Yeah. So we have a material synthesis facilities, and then once we have a materials, they are just like a standalone powders or looks like a kind of a grinds. It need to be converted into the various coatings or electrodes for the successful integration. So we have material synthesis followed by 3 different processing of the materials. So these materials were converted into thin film by sputtering, or a thick film by screen printing or thermal evaporation or some other facilities. Even we have a very conventional approaches, like you don't need a very sophisticated instruments like a spray coating or a painting or paint process application. So these materials normally like made into the solution, and solution is processed onto the desired electrode, glass or any metal electrodes. And once we have this, in my case we make a solar cells based on these electrodes, and we assess how these cells are functioning under the simulated environment. That's the first step. If it is working, then go to the real-time environment. Otherwise, we will again continue this iteration. And then once it is like approved in the simulated, it taken to the next level and finally tested under the realistic environment like the temperature, humidity and all other things. And if the entire cycle is completed, the product or kind of a prototypes are coming out for the next level of validation. We term it as like a technology readiness level 6 or above. And the entire process is in line with our mandate, ARC's mandate, lab scale device to the prototype module, and then eventually technology development for the industrial applications. Okay, so this is all about our capability, right? So now how we utilize our capability, not only machines, including like human resources for the addressing the country's emerging needs. So this slide indicates how our per capita electricity consumption for a year, like from the year when we got our independence in 1947 to the latest numbers available up to 2020. So the y-axis is kilowatt hour. So how many of you are aware of this unit, kilowatt hour? Yeah. So when we got electricity, right? Sometimes parents scold us, right? You consume this many units. So in the colloquial word we say units. So the scientific is like a kilowatt hour. You see that one person consumed just 16 units per year in 1947, and now it's close to 1200 units, right? It's like a very big, almost like I don't know how many times you multiply you will get that number. But how government or some organization, like this is consumption, right? We all consume, but how people able to produce, supply to meet this demand? That is very interesting thing. But don't stop here. I said we are consuming now 1200 units, right? You look at the developed countries or a global average. So if you look at some of the like US or Japan, we are consuming much higher than our numbers. So even you ignore those things, just to take a global average, still we are far below the global average. So what this slide indicates, there is a huge scope. Maybe in like another 5 years or 10 years down the line, we may need about 3000 units, right? How this increment is happening? Like now we all are entirely depending on the electricity for various applications, right? Including now like the electric vehicle pushing us to divert the electricity for the transportation also. So because of this like kind of technological development, we need a more electricity. So this slide indicates for the year 2020, we have about like 388 gigawatt of electricity generation technologies installed around the country. They are different technologies. You see that 60% is like a thermal based. So how many of you are aware of the thermal based or thermal power plant? We know that, right? They bring a lot of coal and then burn it, then heat the water, steam, then steam passes through the turbine rotates. Then we all know dynamo, right? You might have studied in high school physics. AC, DC, all the things are coming out, right? The same way, that is a very old technology. Then all other new technologies, you can see that like hydro, solar, wind, they are like a minimal, but 60% is coming from the conventional thermal power plant based electricity generation approach. So what is the problem with that? This slide indicates, as Madam mentioned previously, for 1 unit of electricity, various technologies emitting certain number of carbon dioxide, or in like a loosely defined word, greenhouse gas emissions, right? You see that for the CO2 equivalent or CO2 emission, for a thermal power plant based is like a 1 kilogram. So looks very like unbelievable number, right? For 1 unit of electricity, why you need a 1 kilogram of CO2 emission into the atmosphere? Because most of the things are going into as a pollutant or like a byproduct. Even you replace the coal with little advanced oil, petrol or diesel or natural gas, right? We all are using CNG based vehicles and all. So the more or less the numbers are coming down, but not like a drastically reduced. But you look at the other emerging photovoltaics, solar technologies or any other technology, nuclear or wind, ocean, hydro, they are negligibly nil, right? Among them, I am going to talk about solar PV, and it emits about 48 gram per 1 unit of electricity generation.
Thermal is also comparable.
Yes.
First of all.
Yeah, but why I am talking about solar PV is like more reliable, because we all believe that sun will come every day, right? Maybe except cloudy days or something. And it is like available throughout the world. Nobody going to say you won't get sun or something. So the reliability and then availability, these two factors made solar photovoltaics like one of the best potential technology among the range of more like environmentally friendly electricity generation approach. So nuclear, last time I think somebody asked the question. Yeah, it looks very promising, right? But you need a huge investment, and unfortunately we don't have the technology and people are not giving to us, and still we have a problem of what to do with the spent nuclear fuels. So these all are like some of the issues associated with the nuclear. Still we are pursuing that, but solar is not like that. It looks very promising. So I have shown that electricity generation, thermal, pollution and all, right? What is the impact? This is like a very simple slide. If you can go to like that's a very popular website, 2 Degree Institute, you will get all the information. You see that CO2 at atmospheric level is like spiked in the last 100 years. We can say like industrial evolution. When we start to emit more, and therefore the global average temperature also started to become. That is like a temperature anomaly we call it. So because of this, we all know what is happening now. Right, this is the very latest picture, one of the best picture from the nature. That's one of the promising journal, top journal, and I have a dream of trying to publish at least in my lifetime. So I got this one. I didn't publish. Still, I'm trying that. Yesterday they released this picture. I think it's those who are familiar with the Twitter or some other social media might have came across this. Right, glaciers start to melt. Right, this is a drone picture taken by I think it's an Indian guy, and he won the award for this picture. So because of the glacier, we all know that sea level increasing and consequences. But something like you see opposite direction, maybe like a severe drop. This happened in like Rajasthan or somewhere, and this one happened like very recently in Chennai. Opposite case, right? So this all are like a consequence of global warming.
Climate change.
Knowingly or unknowingly, we all are contributing. So we have to take the responsible action, and today is like highlighting that action. We all have to be very careful about how we are using the energy, whatever the form, however, wherever it comes, but we have to use it in a more responsible way. So while coming here, there was a big crowd in front of your college gate, and I don't know whether I have to go through that. The security asked me to go. One girl said to me, "Harm, sir, otherwise I don't know how your vehicle is coming." Then I said that this vehicle is a very big vehicle, right? But she doesn't know that like horn is polluting or something, right? I said that I never horn and I don't want to horn inside the educational institute. She said, how I know that? Because she kept two headphone or something and a big crowd, so I just did it. So we are not aware that pollution is like really happening because of our knowing activities. Okay, so these are the one thing. So I said that solar is very clean, right? Clean alone won't help you to make anything. It should be economically viable. That is very, very important, right? We won't buy something because of green. It has to be cost effective. So this is the chart indicates the cost of the electricity generated from the various sources. Same like the CO2 emission, here cost. So the money is important, right? This is for Europe because place to place electricity generation cost changes. In Europe, because of the stringent environmental rules and regulation, solar became already cheaper. We call it grid parity. Even somewhere solar energy is cheaper than the conventional available all form of electricity. In India, solar electricity also very slowly came and now reached about 2 rupees per unit for the generation. And if you compare with nuclear or thermal and all, it's like about 6 to 7 rupees or somewhere it's like I hear 8 to 9 rupees without including the environmental cost. Still we are not included in that one. So how many of you are aware about electricity bills? What is the cost of electricity in Telangana? Sorry?
Free, no, it's not free.
Per unit.
It depends on the slabs, right?
So this is the bill, right? So where to find this cost?
56,000.
Backside is there. This is the latest information, but still we are not updated. It's up to March 2023.
It will go up now.
That's like a different aspect. You can see that. So most of the domestic customers are in this category, right? And we are like if you consume about 300 units for the household per month, you have to pay about 9 rupees, and including the service charge, tax and all, it will be like a 10 rupees, right? So 1 unit of electricity, 10 rupees in Telangana. That is the current things. So why I am saying that? If your parents are shouting at you to conserve the energy, don't look only at the money aspect. I reduced 1 unit and then I avoided the emission of 1 kilogram of CO2 into the atmosphere, right? So very recently in one conference, student from undergraduate B.Sc Physics and B.Sc Computer Science, they collaborated and did some study and showed to us one email is like emitting about 1.2 grams of carbon dioxide.
My goodness.
I surprised. One email, yes or no, whatever you are writing. Then the next guy said that what is the cost of the CO2 emission for the WhatsApp message.
Laptop which is on is enough, no?
So whatever activities we are doing, all coming with a certain amount of CO2 emission. That is the thing. Okay.
Emissions.
Because of this, United Nations made a kind of a number of sustainable development goals. We call it like SDGs. I think most of you are familiar, but I am focusing about the 7th goal, affordable and clean energy. So we made it, and now the choice is like only one, that is solar photovoltaic or solar energy, whatever the form, but the source is solar because clean and affordable. Both I have shown that how the solar energy is clean and how it is affordable in a very recent past. And the government of India also recently committed in the conference of party COP conference. You see that now we have about close to 100 gigawatt solar photovoltaics and the remaining 75 from the hydro and all other things. But we want to make it in the year 2070 net zero. It means net zero means not emitting, no emission or something like whatever you are emitting you have to take out. So there's a kind of a balanced act. So we are considering the development, all our activities and so on. So government made this. And anyway, like I can see something up to 2050, like how we are progressing, and all of you are responsible beyond that, right? You have to see that in 2070, maybe you will say that like when I was student, somebody came and showed I didn't believe that. Now we have become a net zero, right? So some of the countries, I didn't show the list. We want to be like a net zero in 2025. I think Maldives was the first one committed this. They don't want to emit anything. And India and China, I think China committed 2050.
Philippines also?
Yeah, I think right. So 2070 we want to make it because we are a developing country. Being a developing country, we cannot just like that move from conventional to the new because we have to address, right? Electricity demands are quickly picking up. So we committed in 2070 we will make it. And as far as like 2023, we are in a very good track and we are going to achieve. Most of us believe that net zero in like at 2070 and little bit before that also possible. So why I showed that slide? The sustainable energy is going to be a major industry in the future and it will be like employment, business and all other policy related issues. So if any of you are interested and open, just look at this field and then you can build a very wonderful career here. That is the point I would like to make it. So you see that this is a wonderful solar energy distribution slide. And we all know that, right? How the blue color means light energy and red means more energy. How this is distributed throughout the world. So you see that wherever more people are living, we are getting a abundant sunlight. And if we just focus on the India, we are getting throughout our country, except northeast and somewhere like we have very plenty amount of sunlight reaching our surface. And this National Institute for Solar Energy estimated, based on the 2% barren land and 10% efficient solar panel, we can able to generate about 748 gigawatt. Just recall the number. 2021 our installed capacity is 388, right? So double the capacity, whatever we are using is possible from the solar photovoltaics alone. Everything looks fine, right? Like an introduction, so we always very happy to show the slides, rosy pictures and all. How to capture the sunlight into the useful electrical energy is a real challenge. So there are three possible or popular ways. The one is solar thermal. It's a bit old technology. Just sunlight is converted into heat. Heat can be used wherever you want. For hot water, steam, industry, so many things. That is the one thing. In our ARCA Center for Solar Energy, there's a very big team working on this solar thermal concept. So if any one of you are getting a chance to visit, I will show you how the solar thermal technologies are taking place in the research and development landscape. The second one, sunlight can be converted into fuels like ethanol, methanol, or whatever the case, hydrogen, including water splitting and all. And you can store it, and whenever you want, you can use it. So these two are not so popular because of some other reason. The third one is a photovoltaics. Here the sunlight is directly converted into electricity. So there is no any moving part. You don't need to do any maintenance up to a certain extent. No moving part means it's like a free, right? It's a kind of a static device. You put it under the sunlight, then it became a functioning device. And as long as sunlight is hitting the solar panel, you will get the electricity. And we all want electricity, right? Rather than the hot water or steam or fuels, electricity is the primary energy carrier, right? We want to use it for all applications, including nowadays I hear that solar panel electricity is used for heating the water. So the solar thermal is somehow replacement. That kind of things are available. So because of the simplicity, and this technology can be deployed in any place from a small scale. Small scale means I said that kilowatt hour, right? Picowatt, below the nanowatt. Picowatt to gigawatt you can make it. Just by simply connecting the cells together. Because of this versatile things, solar energy became very popular. I am going to show the solar cells here. So I will show the numbers. This is about 4 watt. The same cell is used for making a 4 crore watt. You just connect it series and parallel. Being a physics or electronics people, we know that, right? Just connect it series, parallel. Whatever the voltage you want, you can build. Whatever the current you want, you can connect it, right? That's happening with this. So the building block is here, and this building block, same like a bricks can be used to make a 4 or 50 floor building, same can be possible here. So how to make this solar cell? It's a very simple PN junction. We all know how the PN junction is functioning, right? Being in the physics department, you have a P and N type material bring together because of the potential difference and all other things, you are getting a PN junction. Once you have a PN junction, space charge layer is formed, potential developed, and electron holes are drifted in opposite direction because we behave differently to the electric field due to its inherent charge carrier nature. I don't need to tell much about that, right? You are studying still I hope you are studying. So the solar cell is a simply extended version of the PN junction. You have a PN junction, electrons and holes come out, again we recombine and release the energy in the form of heat or light. Here I have 2 more layers, electron selective contact and hole selective contact applied on the both side of the PN junction, so that before carriers recombining I am taking out. So E contact, H plus contact, right? Electron selective and hole selective contacts are applied on the PN junction, and therefore electrons start to flow through the circuit. You are getting the current. We know that flow of electron is current, and therefore fine. And once you have this basic cell, how we make a panel? You see, this is 72 cells assembled in a series configuration, get about 48 voltage and then 5 or 6 ampere current. And to avoid the environmental damage, rain and all other things, we place it between the 2 glass plates, laminate it, how we make all our certificates very robust, right, by doing lamination, we also do the same thing, nothing different. And therefore, we kept it under the outdoor illumination, and the system will survive for 20 years. So there is a guarantee. You buy from the shop, the guy say that you put it under the outdoor, unless some monkey or some bird comes and damage, if anything happens, he replaces it, because that much maturity or like the robustness already reached this solar photovoltaic technology. So how industry started to manufacture this cell is very interesting. We don't want to make two different material P and then you bring together junction and all, is not going to be possible. So they took P or N-type material and then doped with the opposite. So the more popular approach was P-type silicon, exposed to phosphorus gas, and then P-N doping happened, junction formed. And then in 1954 itself, Bell Laboratory in United States made a 5% efficient device and demonstrated this technology is like a viable for wherever space or some remote place. And then you can see that efficiency chart. It started with a 5% in 1954 and then efficiency started to increase. Is anything changed? No. Same silicon, same PN junction, just process optimization, purification and all other things. Still we are 100% following the same technology, and the world best is like about 26.7%. So you should study why this one is 26%. That's a different domain, I'm not going to touch that. But the world best for the solar photovoltaic, silicon based solar photovoltaic is 26.7%. This happened around the world, right? And we in India, now we are extensively deployed. Your head of the department mentioned that you have a solar panel in the ground mounted, roof mounted all the way along the traffic signal. Maybe like even they made a cycle path, right? Very recently they inaugurated, you can find a solar roof.
Skywalk.
Yeah, skywalk. But whether as a nation we are able to manufacture this, yes, but up to what extent? You can see that there are 5 critical states in the solar photovoltaics. The raw material is a beach sand, SiO2, just sand, then need to be converted into silicon, Si, by removing the oxygen. So we do it by thermochemical oxidation process, then polysilicon purification process, ingots. We are melted and made a kind of a bricks, slicing it, wafer. Once it is P-type, we have to make a PN junction, right? We exposed to the phosphorus doping in industrial furnace. So that is called solar cell. Then module assembly. Where we are standing, our capacity, polysilicon manufacturing 0, ingot 0, wafer 0, and solar cell also was 0 when I joined here. Now government policy was pushing, we have to make it in India. So some companies started to import the wafer, P-type wafer or N-type wafer, expose, just they do the doping process, we make the solar cell. But still, that is very small percentage. So instead of buying crude oil and making petrol and all, we are buying solar cells and assembling and then making it. That was the industry scenario for the solar photovoltaics. So I heard very recently from Niti Aayog, the solar photovoltaic market in India is like 80,000 crores rupees per annum. But we are not like, we are paying 80,000 crores to foreign countries and getting it. So we want to make it in India. So there's like kind of production linked incentive scheme launch, and now Adani, Reliance and all started to invest. They are going backward. So they already have a Mudra Solar or some popular solars have a wafers. So they started to make ingots. They started to make a polysilicon. So ingots was very successful because I have like some of my friends, those who are working on the crystal growth, Sarala crystal growth. They extensively work now. I think 2022 December in a renewable energy exhibition in India, Adani Group made this ingot of 6 feet. That is the India's national record. So they started and now slowly all others are following. There is no any patent, no rocket science here. It's a simple thing because of the cost advantage. If you import from the neighboring countries relatively cheap, nobody doing that, and therefore now no technology. But now neighboring countries are not giving the wafers to us, so we are forced to buy for more price. That is the situation. Yes. Okay. That is a negative side, right? Come to the positive side. Doesn't matter whether we made it imported or not. We deployed very rapidly. So now we are the 3rd or 4th largest solar photovoltaic deployment country in the world. When I came back to India in 2011, we also part of this Jawaharlal Nehru National Solar Mission, and ARC started recognized the potential of this emerging field, and we made a center for solar photovoltaic, solar energy materials, and we are like a founding member. So there was like a very little deployment, but last 10 years you can see that. So now we are close to 100 gigawatt of solar photovoltaics. Yes, like in 2020, I think we have already crossed 80 gigawatt or something, but others are in tendering and all more. Because of that policy decision, the things are very rapidly picking up. And some of the world's largest solar photovoltaic plants are located in India. That is like a kind of a very, that way indicates like a thing. You see this is a Pavagada close to Karnataka's Bangalore airport. It's like about 2 gigawatts spread over 53 square kilometers. If you fly to the Bangalore, you can see this. Sometimes pilot also announce that. Look down, you can see this one of the biggest, largest solar power project that he say for Afghanistan. That's fine, right? I said this is the largest, right? This was in 2019 before COVID. So can you see this one? Any one of you guess this also now? World's largest, but under construction in India is close to Gujarat. Can you see the capacity? Can you guess the capacity and area? The previous one was 2 gigawatt, 53 square kilometer. This one is 30 gigawatt and 726 square kilometers. It's almost equivalent to Singapore.
One city.
So you see that. So we are not doing in a very incremental way. We are doing in a unexpected things. Like you got a 60 mark in first semester, so 65, 68. No, aim for 100, right? That way we are moving forward. So already 30 gigawatt. This will be commissioned in another 2 or 3 years. And the guy who commissioning, we are making solar cell everything by themselves and spread over 726. So 30 gigawatt is like expected
There
to
is
come from the
no habitation expected in the
This is like close to Pakistan border and from the Kutch port. So it's like a barren land and not like there is no human beings. Like I have been here, like very dry and you won't see anything. All directions you see, nothing will be there. And sometimes if your vehicle is stuck up, that's all. Just drink water and wait for someone to come and take it. Okay, so these all are like, right? So, fine. So what we have done, I said that we came just joined in ARC, started wonderful facilities, manufacturing, everything, right? We started to interact with industry and we came to know that what is their problem. The first problem where we can contribute as a scientist was like a soiling or dusting. So 2 power plants located like close to solar panel arrays. One is cleaned very often and the other one is like kept without any cleaning process. Just 1 or 2 months later you can see that one is very clear, the other one is dusted, right? So same like our car. If you have more dust, what will happen? You cannot see front side clear, right? The same thing, light cannot enter into the device. Once light not entering, your efficiency goes down, right? Because of that, all the uncleaned power plants, being like I said previously, 30 gigawatt, if you are not cleaning, it will function only 15 gigawatt or 20 gigawatt. Remaining become waste. And sometimes panel getting hotter because of the dust and all of things happening. And whenever rain comes, the dust removed, so you can see that loss picks up or like it goes down. Natural cleaning. If no rain then it started to decrease. So industry was spending too much water for this. How they do that? Same like how we clean our pressurized water jet, spray it, clean it. And Kutch and all like a dry place, Rajasthan, you don't have water and you need a surface water for cleaning, otherwise salt will deposit and again that will give other additional problems. So
hard water.
So Rajasthan, if you go when like guys are with a tractor and water trailer, they readily wait for rain and rain comes and somewhere water is like collected, they immediately take suck with that pump and store it. They can sell to the solar power plant for a high price. So the surface water is like a kind of a cash cow for them in Rajasthan. That kind of issues were there. So what we found, anyway, biology people are there. So better not to think too much, just look at the nature around you and you will find all the solutions, right? The lotus leaf is one of the best example. We did some thinking, but this is just for you people, I am doing that. So we took one leaf and then if you see under the microscope, protuberance, I think I am very difficult to pronounce that word, but biology people know that, right? Some micron size spikes and then vaccine nanocrystals are attached around that one. Because of that, they are hydrophobic, so water droplets are not able to attach or stick with the water surface. They roll off quickly. So whatever dust is there, it will be picked up by the process. So we try to imitate this process in the laboratory in a more environmental friendly, cost effective way. So what we have done, instead of this protuberance, we adopted a SiO2 nanoparticles with a similar size. And then for a vaccine nanocrystal, they are low surface functionalized molecules. So we adopted this fluoropolymers. And these all are like a grafted around the SiO2 nanoparticle and then disposed in the suitable solvent, water-based solvent. So this is a solution, almost like a paint but more diluted version. Once this is done, you can apply on the front side of the solar panel. I showed the cross section, right? The front side is a glass cover. You deposit it on the front cover glass. Fine. But there are two quality control things. One is this coating itself should not disturb the amount of the light. So if you get a same like cleaning or applying some coating, transmittance should be same. So we tested the glass before and after coating. There is no change. This is the quality control criteria number one. And the second one is how this is behaving close to that of the water surface. How we can assess this? There is a term water contact angle. So you can see left side, the bare glass, water droplets spread, right? And then coated one is like a bubble like thing.
Surface tension.
So the solar panels always installed in a little tilted angle to capture the sunlight more effectively. So water droplets start to roll off and then whatever the dust loaded or sitting on the things automatically goes off. There is a solar panel, coated one. You can drop some water, let and feel that. But it was very old. So I don't know water can be like, you can see that after my talk you can look at that. How the science behind this dust repelling mechanism is explaining the simulation, and we apply some papers and all like for proving the science is like a more effective. So this is the typical things. By controlling the surface energy and all, you can know how much water contact angle is required for removing the dust of particular size or particular nature. And this is a mechanism. Sticking force, removing force, repelling force, all need to be optimized. Although we learn something from nature, we have to break our head for optimizing this process. There we are little bit like intelligent. So once we made this, we made a solution, coated, it's a glass, right? We have to test it in a realistic condition. That is our mandate, right? So we made a cell, dummy cell or mono cell, same thing, like you can see that. This is the cell, right? Can you see? Yes, sir. The same cell, we call it like a lab-based validation. And I am actually like a chemistry and all, we have one more, my friend Dr.D.Sarala, we develop all the chemistry. And I am the one who make these cells, applying all this processing, everything is like that, measurements, validation, I am expert in that domain. So we made the cell, we tested in the simulatory environment condition, how the cells are behaving. As I have mentioned, the transmitters, no change in the transmitters, performance also not change in the immediate things. Then we put up under the outdoor environment, the uncoated one accumulated more dust for a certain, like we measured for about 2 years. This all are like taken for about 30 or 40 days later. Right side, the coated one absorbed the dust but relatively very less. Because of that, there is a clear difference between the coated and uncoated. Sometimes we reach about 20% loss, and this can be minimized by applying the easy to clean coating. Okay, you made a material, you applied, you proved in the lab. What next? It has to be taken to the industry for the successful commercialization or adoption, right? We went to the industry where they are making a solar panels. This is in the fab city, reduces the full solar panel. They are making like about 5 gigawatt per annum. So many panels are coming every day. We applied our coating, and then this is the team like who applied or developed all the things. And this is Dr. Satyavale, our students, this guy, both are graduated from IIT Bombay, and he moved to industry, and myself and Satyavale only there, and new students came like you, and again we are doing different things. So after the panels were coated, we tested under the realistic environment, in outdoor environment for the commercial scale. During the COVID, we started these things and still it's going on. What we found is like the soiling loss in the commercial panel goes up to 20% and can be minimized by applying our easy to clean coatings. But the problem came in a different way. So the small one we sprayed, right, but those who want to apply this coating on the field don't want to take the solar panel to the lab or factory. So they want to apply there itself. Then we developed a new method, spraying coating technology, just automated one. You just put the frame on the solar panel. All the solar panels are like a 1 meter into 2 meter dimension, much bigger than the tiles. We made a coating, and once we got this, it helped us, or like gave a confidence, this is a wonderful innovation, and we filed a patent and we got a patent for this.
Oh, good, good.
So you can see that. So if you want to sell something, first you have to own it, right? So you have to get it, like it's intellectual property. So you file it, after so many process, we give a patent.
It's available in the market now?
Yes. So after this, we tried to interact with the industry, and then we sold this technology to 2 different companies. One is working on the southern side, the other one is on the northern part. So we made a different name, Novus Coat, Clean Coat, and the third person is now in the process of making some different things. But the thing is, the same technology we will do mass produce and then sell it in the industry. Okay, this all are like how we made it, and based on like some of our innovation, our group news always comes in the media for a different reason. These all are the things taken from the media. So you see that self-cleaning solar panels developed by Hyderabad RCA, scientific minister posted that, and then there is a very popular PV magazine. RCA develops easy to clean coatings, clean solar panel coatings and all. So what I would like to summarize here. You don't need to really innovative or inventive. Just look around look around you to find the problems, and then try to figure out what are the possible ways. Possible means economically viable and environmentally friendly. The same solution already available with a different solvent, but the solvent, this volatile organic compound, there is a restriction. So what we tried, water-based one. So that way you have to look at the entire domain. I am a physicist, I will look only like that. I am a biologist, no. You have to look everything. So here we relied on the computation guys for calculations, then physics, electrical, then chemistry, and then IP guys for like finding, drafting the paper, and then commercial guys. We always selling person, right? Sales person, marketing. So they do simple job, get more money, right? So we did that, but we are the one who helped us to reach the last mile, the success of the commercialization. So entire things were explained in this, beautifully explained in this simple slide. Started with the material, prototype, lab, practical demonstration, field implementation, finally technology transfer. So I have shown that although the technology is very old, already there from 1954, right? Bell Labs shown 1954, and India we are not making anything. Don't blame anything. You have still plenty of room to contribute, being it a scientifically, business-wise, or whatever the case. Always there is a problem, and you can turn it to the opportunity for our career or our satisfaction. This all happened in the first generation solar cells. Solar cell is not ours, right? We just added something on the existing product. But the solar photovoltaic research community is not satisfied with the first generation solar cell. We always chase more efficiency and less cost. So we started to work on that. This is the best chart, highly crowded chart. So many technologies were available. Silicon is the best one we are using. You can see that dark red color, we call it emerging solar photovoltaics. They are slowly coming up, less efficient, but among them you can see this yellow dot very rapidly picking up.